Hello and welcome to the Total Football Podcast. I'm your host, Egan Hart, and this week I'm joined by Andrew Conway.
Hello.
Up for discussion, we've got FA Cup, Champions League, and England's World Cup ambitions. For the last 16 in the Champions League, all three of us made predictions as to who would go through in each tie. The scores were 6 to myself and Andrew, and 5 to Matthias. We all incorrectly thought Man United would beat Sevilla. Andrew and Matthias thought PSG would beat Real Madrid, and myself and Matthias both thought Shakhtar could do Roma. Interestingly, Matthias predicted a narrow 2-1 victory for Juventus, and Andrew, you mentioned that if Madrid beat PSG, they're back to being considered favourites.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised Matthias isn't here. He can't face the music when it comes to getting his predictions wrong. In fairness, Real Madrid, if they did manage to beat PSG, and PSG crumbled to the might of the champions of Europe, Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So they're in the quarterfinals. There's Juventus have not been impressive so far. They struggled to beat Spurs.
Yeah, they finished second in their group.
But
then again, Real Madrid haven't been that impressive.
No.
They finished second in the group because they lost to Spurs.
They did, and then they're still all over the place in the league. They're winning. What was 6-3? They
6-3 at the weekend. Yeah.
Rona, was it Ronaldo getting another?
He got 4 goals in the end.
4 goals in the end, matching.
He's
Mo
got
Salah's
18 goals in his last 10 games or something like that.
Crazy form, but the rest of the team then is in shambles.
Yeah.
Really, they can't put together coherent passes for long periods of time. They're conceding goals, which is something Real Madrid of the past weren't doing in the league.
Zidane's team have always kind of conceded goals, though.
But when they were dominant last season, running rampant to the league, they were winning a lot by large margins and not conceding many goals. And that's changed. So you can still say this is probably going to be Zidane's last season. But Juventus, I would still pick as favourites in this tie.
Yeah.
In the quarterfinal. But as I said, they have to be considered up there, right up there. Now, currently, if I was to say Man City, Real Madrid, I would say Real Madrid. If I was to say Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, I'd say Real Madrid. It's only really when they come up against Barcelona that I would fancy another team against them, just because of their experience.
Yeah, and then going into the news, of course, the quarterfinal draw was made last Friday.
Yes.
What did you think of the draw?
I think it was an alright draw as they went, like Man City, Liverpool, while I would prefer the English teams to avoid each other. At least, they're going to be getting a good match, and there will be, one of these kind of swashbuckling teams are going to be in the semi-finals. Probably Man City, but Liverpool have beaten Man City this season, and Pep does have a bit of a weird thing when it comes to playing Jurgen Klopp. He can't seem to. He has an inferior record, I think, and he's the only manager that has an inferior record.
I think he's the only manager that
he's faced more than once and has an inferior record to. So, it could go either way. That I would give obviously Man City the edge there. The other ones, Sevilla against
Bayern. Bayern have had a handy time of it. They finished second in their group, and then they drew Besiktas and Sevilla.
Yeah, and they've kind of cruised through it under the radar. Barely any press for them.
Yeah, because Jupp Heynckes has broken the record for consecutive Champions League wins as manager with 11 because of his time.
And no one's noticed it at all.
Obviously, when he won Champions League 5 years ago now, and now they've won 4 or 5 games in a row this season.
He powered them on They would have won the Bundesliga at the weekend, which would have been a ridiculously early time.
It's still
March 17th, they would have won the Bundesliga if Schalke got no goal in the 86th minute to win against
They lost to
Wolfsburg.
RB Leipzig.
Yeah.
As well. That's only the second loss they've had since Heynckes has come in.
Exactly. So they would have won the league otherwise, other than that. So they'll have won the league by the time they play the Champions League.
Yeah.
At least by the second leg, that's for sure. And they're going to be in the semi-finals and just have nothing else to play for. Now, that has happened in the last few years under Pep. I know, the quarters, the previous year. But when it happens, they don't really... They need... It's like similar to Shakhtar Donetsk. They have no competitive football other than the Champions League, so how are they going to stay focused on target? When they... excuse me. When they won the Champions League, beating Borussia Dortmund, they had Borussia Dortmund in the league to kind of edge them on, and they had the cup final in the German Cup coming on. Now they don't have that kind of focus of another rival that can come anywhere near them or is still in the competition.
But Heynckes' record in the Champions League is phenomenal.
It's
only his 4th season in the Champions League, which is a bit strange for someone so high profile.
Yeah.
But he's won it 2 out of the other 3 times, and then the other time they lost in the final to that Chelsea team
which shows you the weakness of that team. But yeah, this Bayern team is nowhere near, in my opinion, nowhere near as high quality as those teams who got to the final and won it in 2012, 2013. Now, but he's going to get them to at least a semi-final, bar some kind of miracle from Sevilla.
Yeah.
Their great heritage of Sevilla that lost at the weekend quite convincingly to Leganés.
Yeah, Leganés it was.
Like, well, I know we're not going to really focus on Jose Mourinho's.
Well, we can now if you want to talk about Jose Mourinho.
Well, they won at the weekend, so he kind of put everyone to bed. They beat Brighton 2-0
Yeah,
in the
but then
FA
Mourinho
Cup.
came out after the match. He criticised Luke Shaw. He said Matic was an island of personality and
what does
drive.
that even mean?
I don't even know. I think he was
Is
just
that
saying
a criticism,
everyone,
or is that a...
I think he was praising Matic and Matic alone.
But
Like,
this is the same man that once singled out Matic for being the worst player on the pitch and substituted him and then complained about him.
He's fallen back in love with Matic all of a sudden.
But he did re-sign him.
Like Matic has been... He's been in good form the last few matches since that Chelsea match recently, but to single him out as...
That Sevilla goal, the second goal from the corner, Matic was facing the wrong direction when a corner was...
there was about 8 or 9 players.
Yeah, but then it was still in play
goal.
and they still didn't recover to win it. Like who they have, the FA Cup semi-final, they have...
the FA Cup semi-final draw was made on Sunday evening. They drew Tottenham.
So there's going to be, the kind of... That would be a Pochettino-Mourinho kind of revenge.
Yeah,
Pochettino, like Mourinho, for no apparent reason, seems to criticise Pochettino whenever he gets a chance to, saying he's never won anything and he should go back to Paris where they loved him there, blah, 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 get him out of my league, in other words. So there's no love lost between them, and Man United did win against Spurs.
Yeah, but they lost at Wembley.
They did, but everyone loses. Oh no, actually, it's the inverse of that. It's easy to win at Wembley. Yeah, so that did look pretty bad for Mourinho. Now that you mention it, because
Tottenham,
it's at Wembley again.
Tottenham have kind of put to bed their kind of Wembley voodoo in the last few months.
Well, Juventus.
Yeah, but
they haven't put to bed anything.
That is Juventus.
The league, like we've said many times before, the Premier League, where it comes to the top 6 really, or top 10 if you want, is a nowhere league at the moment.
Yeah,
where most teams can't even hope to change positions.
Yeah, but like what I mean is like they beat Liverpool, they beat Man United,
yes,
they beat Arsenal all at Wembley.
Yep.
They haven't played Tottenham, or no? Did they play Tottenham at Wembley yet? I don't think they did.
Who played Tottenham? They can't play.
Or
Tottenham.
Man City ran. Sorry,
no, they still have to go to Man City. Still have to go to Wembley.
Yeah, so we'll see then.
We'll see. That could be the coronation for the league, though. I think it's on course. Maybe that could be one of the possibilities.
I think the press are lining up the Manchester Derby.
Yeah, but if I know anything about the Super Sam Sunday or whatever they want to call it, Grand Sam Sunday or Red Monday, always those things fail to light up. And I'm sure Sky or BT or ever lining that match up to this is the league crowning game, and it'll probably be a midweek match, or probably most likely some other whoever's been second at the time, Man United or Liverpool, will end up losing. And then it'll
happen a week earlier.
It'll give Man City the title.
And like Man City won the league back in December anyway. So.
Basically they've been that far ahead. It hasn't even like last season. We thought was a bit uncompetitive when Chelsea pulled away in February, and everyone was within distance but couldn't get within. Within a couple of games.
Tottenham almost got there, but then
they couldn't really get within 2 games of them. But in the same way, Man City just kicked on. And what are they? 18 points,
16, I think.
16 points. Like when you're 5 matches clear,
that's
the league is
embarrassing for everyone
over. There's only 9 matches left. They're not going to lose 5 of their last 9.
Although it will be incredible if Man City did manage to crumble.
Even if they can, I think what will happen is they will go and they'll win the league, and then they'll focus everything on these Champions League matches.
But then the other FA Cup draw was Chelsea and Southampton,
which is all up in the air. Like for a manager that doesn't like cup competitions, Conte's on course for a second consecutive FA Cup final.
Yeah,
like Southampton did do well. They performed much better than I was expecting against Leicester or
Wigan.
It was Leicester.
It was Chelsea playing.
Yeah, Chelsea beat Leicester in the Emirata. But I thought Mark Hughes is not like the FA Cup. He'd already got knocked out once this season. I thought he was going for it again and he'd focus on the league. But obviously he wanted to come in and get, feet under the table, get a performance from his lads, as they like to say. And he did. And they were convincing against the League One side, we must say, that it will probably be happy enough. They had a good cup run, blah, 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 but they want to get back into the championship. So they're going to be focused on that, no doubt.
They'll just look forward to playing Southampton next season in the championship.
Possibly, which would be unfortunate for Southampton. But Southampton, they did what they had to do. They'll play against Chelsea.
They're back at Wembley.
They're back at Wembley. You know, that like Southampton made it to the FA Cup final the last 15 years, or 15 years ago this year. Under Gordon Strachan, they lost that one.
But if Southampton do go down but manage to win the FA Cup, I'm sure Southampton
they probably prefer
would take
that.
Yeah.
10 years since Portsmouth won the FA Cup as well, so it might be a nice little bit of equilibrium there between the South Coast teams.
And of course it was Wigan who had that same thing happen to them. Was it 5 years ago now as well? Yeah, and like Wigan fans seem to be pretty happy with their FA Cup.
Yeah,
day
like
out.
if I were them, I would absolutely. If I were the players in that Wigan side, would you prefer? Most of them are no, they're not retired, but several of them are retired now.
Yeah.
Like would they? Okay, we stayed in the Premier League 5 years running, or I have an FA Cup winners medal.
Yeah,
you know, which would you take?
It's an easy enough option.
Yeah,
it seems.
Yeah.
And who do you think will win the FA Cup then?
I would.
Or at least what will the final
I think
be?
the favourite's going to definitely come from the Manchester United Spurs semi-final. I would give Man United the edge because it's Mourinho and he loves a good competition, and probably Man United would be the favourites in that case.
Yeah, because the thing is as well, like Tottenham have been drawn as the away side, even though they're playing at Wembley.
They're playing at their de facto home ground.
But then they'll be in their regular dressing room anyway because they play in the away dressing room when they're at Wembley.
Yeah,
for some reason. I think it's because it's the right side and they're on the right side in White Hart Lane as well or something like that.
There's some kind of hoodoo to that.
I'm just looking forward to Mourinho making an excuse out of the fact that they're playing away.
It's because of VAR. VAR is going to do something in that semi-final and he'll be great.
VAR.
See, that's the big tester for it.
And then speaking of VAR, pretty nicely, it's been officially announced to be in the World Cup this summer.
All the better for it. I think it's the testing ground it needs. I think people will be exposed to it quickly and harshly. I think having it in a random cup competition of everyone every few weeks and they're like, what's happening again? Oh, there's VAR. Oh, yeah. But having it a few matches every single day for a few weeks, people is going to expose them harshly and they'll get used to it.
But do you think VAR is ready for the World Cup?
Yeah.
Like the World Cup is the biggest stage.
They should have done it 10-15 years ago.
Well, yeah, there's no arguing that, but
like they had the technology 10 years ago to do it. They had it 20 instant replays to show you like if you were an England fan in 1986 when they had instant replays for Maradona's Hand of God,
fans knew pretty quickly.
Yeah, like they would have taken it there. Yeah. You know, that was 30 years ago nearly.
Yeah, but like
maybe it was 30 years ago.
We've seen it was 32
years ago. Yeah, exactly.
But like we've seen how poorly it's been used in the cup competitions by the referees. Like, are the refs ready? Like, it's the World Cup. You don't want.
Well, we have to take into account that it's not just UK refs in the World Cup.
Yeah, that's true.
There's only going to be one team of UK refs in the World Cup. The rest of them are going to be UEFA or FIFA globally.
But like Spain, the Spanish referees, they haven't used it.
No, but they will be using it now, I'm sure. The thing with the other confederations around the world is they're unlike, like, say, the Premier League, they're very quick to adopting rules as they come.
Yeah.
Or adopting new practices. Like, for instance, in Germany, they're using the World Cup football.
Yeah.
So they're all used to the World Cup football before they play in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Like, that's why other teams like England historically have suffered when the World Cup football comes out.
The Jabulani.
Yeah, exactly. It would float a different way to the football they're used to. Well, if you were from Germany, you would have used the Adidas.
They should just get Ademola Lookman on the plane. So
yeah, well, that's one way to look at it.
Or who's the other English player in Germany?
Yarden.
Jadon Sancho.
Jadon Sancho.
Get him on the plane.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be bad. We'll come to that in a while, I'm sure. But my thing is, like, people are worried about VAR in this World Cup. Think of it yourself. What's the worst thing that could happen with VAR in the World Cup? The worst, like...
It just takes too long to make a decision.
Well, it'd be the right decision.
Decision is still controversial either way.
That'll happen. Yeah. And then that'll give the media a job. They can have their debate. It'll give fans a bit of debate.
I just think maybe it should be ironed out a bit more, because like it is
but
the World Cup.
This is how you iron it out. If you don't use it in a competition like the World Cup, if you don't use it in the biggest competitions, it's never going to filter down. Like, stupid example, but the invisible tape or invisible
line or the
spray that they use for corners and stuff like that in South America that went before the last World Cup. Suddenly everyone, this is like it was a joke at first. Everyone's like, what are they doing? But then it started making sense, because one, it added a bit of drama and a bit of fun, and the referees spraying on the ground and spraying on the boots and stuff like that. But also, no longer was advancing 5 yards.
Yeah.
Or taking every liberty they could get. It was clear where the rules were. And it added to it and added a bit of fun to it. I think this is a lot more serious, but it's going to add new things to it. And they're, unlike we want to say Sky Sports and Premier League, they kind of have it they have it locked down.
Yeah.
That this is the only thing that's going to happen. Sky Sports can control it all. If they don't say something, it doesn't happen. So if you don't want to have like the replay shown in the stadium of the VAR decision, which Sky don't necessarily allow, or the Premier League doesn't allow, that kind of takes away the drama, and it adds to this kind of perception that the fans in the stadium are being left out. Well, in the World Cup, I think like if the Russian director of the match broadcast says, "No, play the replays all you want in the stadium," and then everyone gets to see the same thing that the VAR referee is seeing, it can add drama to it. Everyone's going, and the decision's being made, and then maybe they should consider at least to broadcast the mics because they all are wearing mics, all the referees, and maybe they can broadcast the mics for that decision, and that could grow something else or anything like that. There was nothing that can really happen bar delays or just adding extra controversy that would have existed whether VAR was there before or after.
Yeah.
Because if VAR is there, all these niggly stupid decisions are just going to be eliminated slowly. It's not going to happen overnight, but slowly players are going to be caught out, and they're going to learn, that I can't just throw myself for a dive.
Yeah.
Diving is a big issue, or I can't just handle the ball, or I can't just kick someone off the ball, or these little gamemanship things that happen all over the place, or I can't, whatever decisions come in VAR, or and then it adds to the game in the fact that ball crosses the line. Did it cross the line or not? You can actually finally check it, and they have goal line technology, which is the other thing part of it. But that'll happen. That'll matter so much to everyone involved, and the fans on the receiving end of it who don't benefit from it. They'll complain, but at the same time, they can't really complain over time because, it actually was the right decision. Yeah, it's not like this is the referee's opinion. Like, random things. Like, do you remember the World Cup final 2010 when Nigel de Jong kind of karate kung fu kicked?
Yeah, and only got a yellow for it.
Yeah, Xavi Alonso in the stomach. Like, if he got sent off for that, the Dutch fans would have been like, well, he did kick him in the chest.
How different would that match have been with VAR?
It would have been a lot different.
Would it have seen 90 minutes?
I'd say there would have been a lot more goals, and Johnny Heitinga wouldn't have been the only player sent off.
It's so weird that he played in the World Cup final.
Yeah, and really him getting sent off was the reason the match went to the Spanish in the end. Like, the Dutch still could have won it to that point.
Yeah, Arjen Robben had that chance as well.
Arjen Robben.
But it was interesting as well at the FA Cup. VAR was in use for I think every match except maybe the Wigan Southampton match, but there was no incident for it. No, I don't think,
and that's
it was used at all.
What will happen? 90% of the matches that VAR is used for. Like, I know you tweeted there yesterday or earlier on that there was a VAR decision and
in Italy,
and they was like, it took a few minutes to come through, and then your man went mental, like
Patrick Cutrone,
went mental, like he just
ran
scored
off to the goal.
Sure, he's having a bit of a moment. He had a nervous breakdown or something.
It was this great incident. If you haven't seen it, it was everyone was at in the centre circle waiting for a decision to be made, and the goal was given. And then Cutrone ran off to get the ball that was by the goalkeeper at the goal. The goalkeeper kicks it away, and then Cutrone continues to run after the ball, grabs it, puts his fist up and celebrates to the crowd, and then puts the ball in the centre circle. Oh, it was wonderful.
Yeah, that's the kind of, you say you're losing time, but you're also gaining moments like that, which are just ridiculous.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen that, I do recommend looking that up. But then that will do us for the news. Join us after the break for our talk on England's World Cup ambitions. Welcome back. We go now to topic of the show, and it was 2 years ago England embarrassed themselves losing 2-1 to Iceland. 4 years ago it was coming last in their World Cup group that contained Italy, Uruguay and Costa Rica. 6 years ago it was losing in drab fair penalties to Italy when Pirlo effectively ended everyone's respect for Joe Hart. I could go on and on, but you get the point.
It would take a while. It was 30 years of hurt is now 52 years of hurt?
52 or so, yeah. So in Russia, how do England avoid embarrassment?
I don't think they will, to be honest. I think chances are they'll get through their group because their group is Panama, Tunisia and Belgium. Yeah, so bar Tunisia showing up for the tournament and playing very well, which they've yet to do really in a World Cup.
It's their first World Cup since 2006, I think.
It is, but like previously they've qualified really impressively. They've done well or well enough in African nations tournaments.
Yeah.
And then when they show up to the World Cup, they have players and they just never seem to pull it together in time. Something always happens that kind of knocks them back, and they end up going out in the group stage. Like, I think they'll probably do the same this time. Like, I don't know about anything going around their team at the moment, but I don't see them getting out of that group.
Yeah.
Panama, they're very fortunate. Their World Cup trophy is qualifying.
Yeah.
That is them winning the tournament.
Like, they did very well to get here. But
Fantastic well, beating the US, beating them to the tournament and then also beating them in a real match.
Yeah.
Both of those things are a turn up for the books. So Belgium are the only real ones that are, the real competition so well to England at the moment, and you'd expect them to win the group. They were the seed, were they the seeds? Or England the seeds?
Belgium, I think, were the seeds.
Yeah, so Belgium, they're very good players, strength and depth in that team. Roberto Martinez, whatever people's opinions of him is, he is a good manager.
The English know him as well.
They do know him. Thierry
and they'll know all those
Belgian
players. Like that's the interesting aspect about that tie, is that all the opponent, like the players in the pitch will know each other from playing in England. There's a lot of Belgian players in England.
Yeah, and all of them at the big sides, like Man City have a few contingent, like they have De Bruyne, they have Company, Chelsea have Courtois and Hazard, and the other Hazard has been at Chelsea.
Man United have Lukaku,
and he's been at Chelsea as well. So
Tottenham have the defence,
basically. And then like Vermaelen used to play at Arsenal, so they have a few, Jack Wilshere and players like that.
Fellaini as well, how can I forget?
Of course, Marouane Fellaini. So basically most of the Belgium side that's going to start by Mertens, and
if they decide to play Nainggolan,
and there's that, they're the only ones without direct experience with the English team, so there will be very much familiarity there, but I don't see England really. They'll progress because that's kind of the default in that group. It's a good group to get. And then from there, it'll be, I imagine, something akin to what your introduction said, that there'll be some major thing that'll happen that'll derail their whole tournament, whether it's another penalty shootout, which is England, so they'll probably end up going out to a penalty shootout, and then we'll all have a big celebration of that. The interesting thing I want to talk about is they've released their 27-man squad.
27-man squad, yeah.
For the upcoming friendlies against the Netherlands and Italy. They're two quality teams who many would say would be better than England and didn't qualify for the World Cup. So England did qualify. You have to beat what's put in front of you, and they did beat what's in front of them. Now Italy did get second seed, which is ridiculous.
And we're drawing against Spain.
Well, that's because they were second seeded. England weren't second seeded, so that was the difference.
So even if they were Netherlands were actually first seeded, but if
they just fell apart.
Yeah, but if Italy were even drawn second seed and drawn in Ireland's group, they would have won that group.
Yeah, they would have, but Ireland would never have been first seeds. Not since 2002 have Ireland been first seed.
Yeah, they were fourth seeds in that. Who was Wales were first seed in that group?
Yeah, Wales or Serbia. One or the other.
How did they get first seed and Italy didn't?
Who knows? Who knows? It's a silly system. But anyway, England released a 27-man squad. I want to ask you, what do you think the starting 11 is going to be when they first rock up to Russia?
Well, is the question, what will it be or what should it be?
Well, what will it be? Because this is what it is. We might discuss what changes we would personally make to make the side better, or function better, or to do better.
Because Gareth Southgate has been playing a 3 at the back.
Yes.
In friendlies, and I don't know, is he actually going to do that in the World Cup?
Well, I think it might, play to their strengths. Their strengths aren't in a 4-man defence. Their strengths are in having a robust...
Where are their strengths,
a robust and physical midfield, and then having a lone/supported striker up front in Harry Kane, plus whoever else you want to play up there.
Jamie Vardy.
Well, I don't. Jamie Vardy would do well with Harry Kane up front, and I think that's been proven in previous tournaments. Great option to throw on, if you're chasing the match, especially. Well,
maybe not chasing the match.
Yeah, that's kind of it. But so we'll start goalkeeper. Yeah, this is actually a tough enough.
Yeah, who do they play?
Because Joe Hart is not good.
They named 4 goalkeepers in a 27-man squad. Maybe it's just Gareth Southgate doesn't want to tell Joe Hart, you're not in the squad.
Well, I think he's going to use this as a means to, okay, I'm going to weed out. I've got 4 keepers here.
Play one each half.
I have to pick 3 into that's how many go into the World Cup squad.
Is he actually going to do that? Is he going to play one goalkeeper each half?
Well, see, I think it's a big test for Nick Pope.
Yeah, but I think he's earned that call-up.
Oh, he has earned the call-up.
I don't think Joe Hart has.
On form, Nick Pope is the best English keeper at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
Who's down? Who else is there at the moment?
We have Jordan Pickford
and
Jack Butland.
Both are playing in struggling sides.
Yeah, one's in the relegation zone.
Yeah, but in fairness to Jordan Pickford, but he has made mistakes this year. He hasn't been like, this.
And he is still young.
He is, but when you go to, sorry, did I say Jordan Pickford or Jack Butland there?
Jordan Pickford.
I meant Jack Butland.
Jordan
Pickford is still young. Jack Butland, a lot of he's taking lots of weight on his shoulder, and he says he wants to be proud to be English, and he has that kind of desire in him, which I know Gareth Southgate likes, and I know a lot of the English.
And he's done well to come back from a pretty bad string of injuries.
He has, but I think he's mistakes in him. Yeah. I think he's a very physically imposing keeper, but I still don't think he has the agility of other keepers that are in this squad. Like, he has better command of his box and stuff like that. Let's say Joe Hart doesn't have, but he doesn't have the physicality of Joe Hart or the agility of Joe Hart in other means. So I would put him behind him. I think Jordan Pickford is definitely the most talented all round. He's got fantastic distribution for an English keeper, which could come in handy, and I think it will count for him. But as you said, he's not been in a good team this year. He has had a better season playing in worse teams, same for Sunderland. Like, he hasn't had a good season. He's making saves, but he's not doing as well as he did round game as he did when he played.
Like last season, he was keeping Sunderland in matches.
Yeah,
whereas I don't think
last season he was the best keeper in the league.
Yeah, whereas I don't think he's done that for Everton.
No, he hasn't really. But that's just there's something awry at Everton, and I don't think Sam Allardyce is long for that job. Even though they're up and safe and secure now, I don't think any difference has really been made between.
Yeah, I don't think Everton fans are happy with him there.
No, but I'd
be surprised if the owners were as well.
And you look at it, I don't think the Dutch manager,
Ronald
Koeman, who was managing Netherlands in this match, I don't think he would have done any worse than Sam Allardyce has done. Like, the league has kind of been by default for most of the year without playing well or doing anything or scoring goals, even though he spent like 60 million on
Cenk Tosun only got like his first 2 or 3 goals this weekend.
Yeah, but he spent was it Theo Walcott cost about the same as Tosun? They haven't done anything between them really. Like, they've not played badly.
They both had one good game each.
Yeah, it's not been. But what's that down to? Yeah, Tosun's in form this season. Like, Walcott hasn't played much this season, and before he joined Everton, so maybe there's a bit of that. He's not much sure. But away from that, like, there's something awry in Everton.
Theo Walcott's not even in the England squad.
No, he's not going. He hasn't been in years. He's not going to. I think
Sven picked him in 06.
Yeah, well, poor Theo Walcott, because he has been unfortunate. He shouldn't have gone 2006. I think it hurt his career, him going.
Yeah,
but away from, so it becomes between Jordan Pickford and Nick Pope in my mind.
I think they'll pick Jordan Pickford.
I think it becomes, I think Joe Hart's going to start the World Cup.
You really think Joe Hart's going to start?
Yeah, because there isn't experience there, and I think that counts for a lot.
But Joe Hart's experience is bad experience.
It is, yeah. But
this, the talk about experience is all well and good, but it's only if they have good experience is it worth bringing them.
But this is a catch-22 with England, is that they're hamstrung by this immense pressure that's put on them by both the media and by the fans and by themselves, because they think they should be there to compete.
Yeah, they think they're better than they are.
Yeah, it's a psychological complex. They are the founders of the game. They play in the most popular league in the world.
Yep.
They have more money going through their country in terms of for football than anywhere else in the world. So there is, if their homegrown player is good enough to play in the best league in the world, they should be good enough to compete at these highest levels. Yeah. But they're mismanaged to the level that, because the manager can't function because he's under so much pressure.
Really?
Well, I think Gareth Southgate, in fairness to other England managers before him, Gareth Southgate has got a big break. In terms of, he clearly didn't want the job. He stepped out of the line before Sam Allardyce was hired.
Yeah, we were just talking about Big Sam. Like, what would how different would his team be?
It wouldn't be 3-5-2, that's for sure. Yeah. It'd be a 4-4-2. Might be more successful if you play that
that's what I was thinking. Like, you're England. You look at Spain. They have their passing way of playing football. You have the Germans.
But what is England? What is the national identity?
Yeah, what was the national identity of
England? Historically,
4-4-2.
4-4-2.
So they should just.
But
double down on that.
Not Sam Allardyce 4-4-2. Sam Allardyce 4-4-2 would probably might struggle to get out of the group. That easy group we spoke about earlier. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked in England's chances for the World Cup. I always want to talk about their team. I think Joe Hart's still going to start. I think you're right that probably Jordan Pickford or Nick Pope being the more talented / more informed. I don't think so.
I think Nick Pope should start.
You're probably right. in that regard that Nick Pope probably should start, but I think he'll just go with Joe Hart because of later on things we're going to discuss in the team.
But of the 4 goalkeepers, you think Jack Butland is the one to miss out on the squad? Because they only bring 3 to the World Cup.
No, I think Nick Pope will miss out on the squad.
You think Nick Pope will miss out?
That's why I think you're right that he probably should start, but I think he won't go.
But then what about their defence? Like you talked about back 4,
back 3, I think is what they're going to go for, bar him making a change. And I think if they do make the change, it won't be massive to back 4, because I think players who would have been in the back 4 will be in the 5 anyway, playing wing back. And I think one of them will move back into position and they'll adjust to a 4-4-2.
But then what centre backs are they playing?
So I was looking before the show just to do some research, and Jamie Carragher actually picked an England starting 11 back back beginning of February, and he had Gary Cahill in there.
Gary Cahill?
Yeah. As the anchor in that middle
He's
of the
not even in the squad.
He's not even in the squad. So that you have to go with experience with a defence in a World Cup. And looking at this squad, there isn't much experience in the whole squad. So you're looking, John Stones has been the most experienced centre-back.
Like, one thing I will say for Gary Cahill is he does play in a back 3.
Yeah, he has the experience there, and he is experienced in terms of he's got lots of caps. He's played in tournaments before.
Yeah,
he's played okay in tournaments before, unlike say John Stones, who maybe was targeted in previous tournaments as a weak link.
Well, you would think in a back 3 he'd be.
John Stones has played in 3 as well. Not as much, but he has. But for experience
Eric
alone,
Dyer as well has played in the back 3. Like, you're looking at that.
Do not want to be playing an Eric Dyer in a back 4 or a back 3 rather. But then you're looking at who else do you have? John Stones is going to start there. Then you're looking at kind of the younger players, Harry Maguire, who seems to be in favour. Even
he's
if
played in the back 3 sometimes for Leicester.
He has, which is another reason to pick him. I think he'll play at the left of a back 3.
Yeah, I think I'd play Harry Maguire because I think he's had a very good season.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's had that good of a season. I think
he started off very well. He has kind of regressed to the mean.
Yeah, it's more like a Kieran Trippier type of situation where I think he's been hyped up much more than he's actually been doing.
I do like watching him though. That maybe it's just there's something about a man of his size being so elegant on the ball that is quite fun.
Yeah. Speaking of people who don't look like they should be elegant on the ball, Alfie Mawson from Swansea.
Yeah.
He's been talked up a lot in the media this past week. He's made the squad. He also loves spraying 50-yard passes.
Yeah, I've admittedly not seen a lot of Alfie Mawson.
No one has. They're down near
I find
the bottom.
It weird that he's in the squad. Like, is that the best that they have?
We see the problem with Swansea all season, and if you look at their stats and expected goals, Swansea, even under Paul Clement, didn't have bad defence.
Yeah.
They basically couldn't score, so whenever they would concede a goal, that was game over, and that's why they were down so bad for most of the season.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So the defence has been strong all season. Yeah, I don't see Alfie Mawson starting because he'll only have a couple of caps by the time the World Cup will actually start. If he gets
if he even gets into the squad, like the squad has to be trimmed down to 23 players.
It does, yeah. So I don't think he'll probably make the last squad. But then you're looking at who's the other defender in the back 3.
Oh jeez, I've just seen Danny Welbeck's name in the squad.
Yeah, but Danny Welbeck's
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that, yeah. So then you're looking who's the other person going to be in there, and you speak about Eric Dyer, Joe Gomez.
Well, Joe Gomez is more of a fullback.
Yeah, but he's a centre-back too. But he comes under the same problem as Alfie Mawson does, that he's not experienced there, and you already have...
I feel like lack of experience might actually be okay for England at the World Cup.
Well, it's going to have to be okay, because if nobody else... Like, they only have inexperienced players.
When you lose to Iceland, like, not to really denigrate Iceland, because they've done fantastically well to do what they've done. And their president
is now in ads on YouTube before videos advertising, come to Iceland for the World Cup, even though it's in Russia, but, come to Iceland.
But yeah, when you have an embarrassing defeat like that, when it's a string of embarrassing defeats, you need to just shed that squad.
Yeah, you need a clean break and new players. And in fairness to Southgate, he has brought through, in different ways to previous managers who would just give caps to everybody. Sven used to give caps, like Joey Barton, I think, the caps. And, he used to just give them all out. And I'll just get everyone to get one cap, and that's silly. Because it's good to explore different options, but it's silly just giving people a cap for the sake of a cap. Southgate has cut ties with players. He still has Joe Hart in there, but he's cut out. Wayne Rooney retired. Who else are we looking at here?
Gerrard was retired by the Euros.
Steven Gerrard's retired.
Yeah.
But Wayne Rooney was retired basically by Southgate.
Gary Cahill isn't in the squad.
Gary Cahill isn't in the squad. Chris
Smalling,
Phil Jones. I don't think would have made the squad either. What am I talking? Fullbacks, Liverpool fullback who's injured recently. Nathaniel Klein. He's been injured, but he wasn't in the picture for a while. Things. They're starting to like pull away. Like Danny Rose, he's in the squad now, but maybe he's kind of on the periphery of the team rather than being a starter.
He's not really played.
Well, that's why. Before we want to finish our defence, who's going to be the third defender? John Stones, Harry Maguire, and that's where it's really tough, isn't it?
They could try as with Phil Jagielka as well.
But who is it? I think there's a chance that we could get another player who is out, say Gary Cahill or Phil Jones could come back in and slot into.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Phil Jones was at the World Cup squad,
which I think is horrific because other than the fact that he has experience, why? Ken Early in second captain made a great analogy earlier. Charles Nzonzi, who's at Sevilla now.
Steven
Nzonzi, sorry. Who's at Sevilla now, previously of Stoke, previously of Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah.
Phil Jones used to keep him out of the Blackburn Rovers team. He used to play Phil Jones. Sam Allardyce used to play Phil Jones midfield for Blackburn instead of Steven Nzonzi.
Yeah.
Which is a horrific decision. And I think, really, if Phil Jones keeps anyone out of any team, I'm like, what's wrong with that team that Phil Jones is in it? The man has, he has a bit of pace. He's a bit of touch. He's a bit of skill. He's a bit of a shot on him. But he doesn't have, any of them at any particular
but Phil
high
Jones
level.
has given us such joy through the hilariousness of Phil Jones. You want him in the English squad.
But that's for comedic purposes, that he falls and he makes faces.
Yeah.
And, he makes horrific mistakes like he did against Uruguay.
Thing he did against Arsenal that time. That was hilarious.
When he was starting to face plant the world. He has made horrific decisions for England and Manchester United.
So what you're saying is he should be England captain?
He might be England captain in the future. But yeah, I don't know. Eric Dyer, one of the players that's not in the squad right now, or you could see, a kind of maybe Kyle Walker or someone like that playing as a centre back come full back on attack, and they'll just kind of adjust to different positions.
Who do they play wing back?
That's the next problem. Is if we move into midfield, I think Jordan Henderson has to start because he's England captain right now. And Liverpool aren't playing that badly, and he is playing for Liverpool. They're in the Champions League quarter-final. They're third.
Well, he has
in the league.
missed the last few weeks because of injury.
Well, but he's in the squad now, and he is the captain. So he is going to start, I think, Jack Wilshere, because he literally has done what Gareth Southgate asked of him last year. Play more matches. Play consistently.
But
don't get injured.
Good enough?
He isn't the player he used to be, that's for sure. But when you look at England's kind of creative and passing options...
Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Well, I think there's a space for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
They could just play the Liverpool midfield,
which is
Adam Lallana, Jordan Henderson, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
You cannot trust Adam Lallana that deep in the midfield. He not only, I'm not going to say for a second that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is positionally disciplined, because he's not, and I'm not going to say that Jack Wilshere can actually tackle, because he can't. But between them, they make a half decent midfielder, because Jack Wilshere's positional sense. And Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has pace. And if you combine those two together, that's a functional midfield with Jordan Henderson. If I had my choice, I would drop Jordan Henderson from that side. I put Chamberlain, probably Dyer, and probably Wilshere as a kind of solid midfield base to build on and play three in attack. But he's not going to do that. He's going to have those three. Henderson will play deep. So Chamberlain will have a free role going running up and down, and he'll want Wilshere to play not quite a 10, a kind of a regista or tranquista, a position further deep, relying playmaker that's going to
move
the ball from left to right in short passes.
So you think they're going to play a 3-5?
I think they're going to a 3-6-1, but it'll be 3-5-2 when it goes up on the screen before a match. Yeah. But in reality, it'll be a 3-6-1. I think Harry Kane is up front, presuming he's fit.
He's expected to be fit. Yeah,
he'll be up front. That goes without saying. He's the best player in England.
But what about Jamie Vardy?
Jamie Vardy's not going to he'll get in the squad, no problem. He's not going to start.
But would they not be better off playing Jamie Vardy against the likes of Belgium?
Why?
Because
Kane is a better player in every regard to Jamie Vardy. He doesn't have but not to 100 pace like Jamie Vardy does. But that's it.
But
Kane is better in every other way.
But
Kane still has pace. He's not slow.
No, but I'm saying England should play a more defensive system. Look, they're not good enough to beat Belgium if they go at Belgium. Like,
I don't think
they don't have the midfield.
I don't think they're going to go at Belgium.
No, but that's what I mean. So they sit back and try to catch them on the counter attack, and that's Jamie Vardy's bread and butter. Like, they don't have the midfield to feed Harry. Like, Harry Kane takes a lot of chances. But that's why he scores so often.
What's your argument here? You want to play Jamie Vardy instead of Harry Kane?
Like, as you said, they don't play well together, so you can only really play one. And
which is why you play Harry Kane.
I think in the bigger teams, they might be better off playing Jamie Vardy.
No. Because Jamie Vardy is a one-dimensional striker. No offence to Jamie Vardy.
He's got more league titles than Harry Kane.
He does have more league titles than Harry Kane. He has won Player of the Year. He has consistently scored for multiple seasons, similar to Harry Kane. He is older and more experienced. You want to say maybe he wants it more because he came from a much more unbelievable origins.
Yeah.
He rose through a factory into Premier League champion. There is that about Harry Kane. This is also, without a doubt, probably his last World Cup that he could play for.
Probably, he's 30, he's 31 now, I think, yeah.
There is arguments to be made there, but I can't. Harry Kane is the best player in England. He scores.
Yeah, but
nothing.
You think about
he goes so well. He combines so well. He drags.
But he combines so well with that really good Tottenham midfield, as opposed to we're talking
we haven't even got to our wing backs yet. Our wing backs are more likely going to be Tottenham / ex-Tottenham wing backs and Danny Rose and Kyle Walker, because there is nobody else to play wing back
or Kieran Trippier,
who also knows Harry Kane,
or Ashley Young, bizarrely,
or Ashley Young as a reserve. But there's 4 players, which is England's probably the biggest resource England have is the wing back, because they could play potentially Danny Rose, Kieran Trippier, Kyle Walker, Ashley Young, Raheem Sterling. You could play Danny Welbeck at wing back. You could also play Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain at wing back.
Oh, he's in the squad. Okay, I feel like I've seen very little of Raheem Sterling lately.
Well, he's at the best team in England at the moment.
But you can't play him. You can't play him at wing back.
Yes, you can.
He's not defensively minded enough.
No, but that's you play him.
He tried to play wing back. He played wing back at the start of the season for Man City, and that was the worst Man City have been this season.
True,
by some margin.
True, but you beggars can't be choosers. And when you're at England, and
but
if he wants to play in the World Cup, because I think Dele Alli's going to start in this team as well.
But he shouldn't be. Gareth Southgate has said he wants to pick on form, but if he plays Dele Alli, he's not doing that.
True, I agree.
Danny Welbeck is in the squad.
Danny Welbeck performs well for England. He always has.
I think he's the highest scorer.
He's a great record for England between goals to games. He does perform for England.
It's Danny Welbeck. He's a terrible footballer. I can't believe he's made.
He's not a terrible footballer.
He is.
Well, he is a malformed footballer. He has issues with certain parts of his game, like keeping the ball under
being
control.
Able to stay on his feet.
Yeah, which this week he did dive for a penalty, and scoring goals, which he seems to have a ridiculous problem with tapping the ball into an empty net. Which is
he's good. His whole career. He's really good. I really like.
He is
Welbeck in particular is a player that I just don't rate.
Well,
he should not be anywhere near this England squad.
Do you think he's going to be one of the players to drop out?
He should be. I don't think he will.
You see, because they don't have strikers. Marcus Rashford's there as well as another option. Again, I don't think he's going to start. He's another option off the bench.
He was the best player against Iceland.
He was the best player, but
Harry Kane played in that match.
He did. Harry Kane took corners in that match, if I remember, for some bizarre reason.
Yeah.
And they still have, maybe Chamberlain or Wilshere will take the corners because they do it at club level.
Just get You'd the hope so. To do it.
Yeah, anyone would be better than Harry Kane doing it. But yeah, I don't know what you think about the midfield.
I just don't think they should play a back three, because I think it's probably they get the best out of the defence with it, but they get the worst out of the attack. If you have players like Raheem Sterling, in the squad, you play to his strength, not the defence's strength.
Okay, so what do you think? We'll put aside what we've gone through, what we think or what we expect Gareth Southgate to do roughly.
Yeah.
So, what do you think would be best for England?
I think they should play 4-4-2.
Play 4-4-2. So you would have Nick Pope.
It's good enough for Mike Bassett. It's good enough for Gareth Southgate.
True. So you'd have Nick Pope in goals.
Yeah.
And then what would be your back four?
I'd probably play Harry Maguire, John Stones. Who do they have?
See, it's not a good... I know we picked them in the back three, but it's not a good back two.
Yeah.
Because it's two players who are not overly pacey, who are not overly not prone to mistakes.
But they have Nick Pope in goals.
Yeah, but that's not...
They can play Tarkowski.
Tarkowski, who is...
He's in the squad.
He is in the squad, and he is used to playing with Nick Pope.
Yeah. If they just want someone who can get in the way of the ball.
If we're speaking of players who are going to be cut from the squad for the World Cup, Tarkowski's one
I'd probably bring Tarkowski. He'll get in the way of the ball.
I'll put it this way: he's going to bring Phil Jones instead of Tarkowski. for experience reasons. And I would say Chris Smalling could possibly be higher up.
I don't think he'll pick Chris Smalling.
He's been
very critical of Chris Smalling.
He shouldn't, but
deservedly so. Like,
Chris
Smalling shouldn't be anywhere near the English.
Okay, so those two at centre back. Who's left back and who's right back?
He played Danny Rose
as left back instead of Ashley Young or instead of Luke Shaw.
Ashley Young's not a left back.
No,
Luke Shaw's not even getting into the Man United squad.
True. And then right back.
It doesn't really matter which one.
It does matter.
Kind of equally. They're both the same. Probably Trippier, better crosser of the ball.
Yeah. Less pacey, but
yeah.
Okay. So midfield, then you're 4 in midfield, and how are these 4 lining up? Is it a diamond? Is it a flat 4? Is it
flat 4 probably?
So a flat 4, which hasn't been seen really since the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay, so a flat 4.
It's England, like
it could work.
No fancy systems are allowed in the England national squad.
It could well work. It could well work. I'll give you that. So who's in the flat 4?
Like I think you got to play.
Jordan Henderson's captain, so
he's played Jordan Henderson.
Even though in a 2-man 4, in a 2-man midfield, that is a horrific decision because he is he's not pacey, he cannot tackle, he is not that good of a passer. He is all round. He is a B- player.
Do they have? They don't have anyone.
Eric Dyer
that could just tackle.
He's
the most tackler.
He's the most physical,
Eric Dyer,
physical player they have in midfield.
And
Eric Dyer and Henderson.
2 players that'll sit deeper.
That is not a good midfield.
No,
Eric De Bruyne.
It's not a good
imagine
midfield.
Eric De Bruyne looking at those 2 players on that day in June and just like laughing to himself, laughing in his little ginger blonde head. What are they playing? Okay, so who's playing the left side and the right side of midfield?
You play Rashford and Sterling.
Rashford, not a winger, definitely not a midfielder.
He plays on the left for United.
He plays on the left of attacking 3 at United.
Yeah,
where he's got 3 players covering.
You're pushing the 2 up, same with Sterling. That's why you have 2. This is why I'm not England.
But Sterling, Sterling and Rashford occupy the same space when they're playing in their best positions.
You can play Jesse Lingard instead of one of them.
So you want Jesse Lingard to play ahead? Yeah, well, that would make more sense than playing Rashford. You should play Jesse Lingard instead of Rashford.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
And then Sterling,
and then you could play Rashford up top with Harry Kane
instead of all your talk about Jamie Vardy.
Well, I would actually put Rashford instead of Vardy, but I feel like that would.
I don't think. Yeah,
they'll be crucified by the England fans.
The chances of that first 11 starting any match, even Panama.
They should try it. I'm just
I personally
you got 2 friendlies coming up.
Nick Pope's not even going to make the squad. That's in reality. If they play against Italy or the Netherlands, they will lose. I think.
Yeah, but they'll lose the 2 friendlies. What does it matter?
No, I don't mean lose as in they will lose and it was a good game. I mean they'll just get laughed at. Could you Verratti playing against Jordan Henderson? Verratti is going to play against Jordan Henderson this week, and he's going to laugh at him.
No, Verratti's not that good though.
He's better than Jordan Henderson
fair.
Every even in winning headers. He's better than Jordan Henderson, and he's 5 foot tall. Jordan Henderson, if there's one thing for this
Gareth Southgate has been told he won't be fired after this World Cup, so why not just have a blast? World Cup, go on all attack.
Personally, Gareth Southgate played in one of the best performing England teams of any tournament of the last 50 years. He played in Euro 96. He played in front of some great centre backs. It started as a young centre back.
Yeah.
They played unorthodox systems. They played a 3-5-2 in a time where 3-5-2 wasn't popular, especially in England.
Yeah.
The equivalent of playing something ridiculous in England, like a 4-4-2 almost now.
Yeah.
So
you can play a 4-3-3 though. I feel like a 4-3-3 would actually be a lot better system than the one I've just chosen. But I just want England to play a 4-4-2.
No, they could play a 4-4-2 and play it with a diamond and high pressing, and I think they do very well. They could play an Eric Dyer at the holding midfielder, or even a Jack Wilshere, and play 2 physically minded players from him like
Eric Dyer
and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Someone pace
that
doesn't run the channels up and down, and then play a Dele Alli or.
I don't think Dele Alli should be in the squad nearly.
No, but he is going to go because he has a bit of spark to him that a lot that England lacks so badly. They're trying to get Jack. That's why Jack Wilshere's there, because he has a bit of spark about him, even if it is kind of
if it's choice between Dele Alli and Jesse Lingard. Lingard's had a better season. I'd play Lingard.
Yeah, but Lingard's not playing that 10 role. He's not used to playing that 10 role.
No, but Lingard this season's played all across the front 3.
He has, but
he's been told to just roam. He's been very good at it.
He plays best when he's coming from that left hand side as an inverted striker.
I don't know. I think
that's when he's created most. Is when he's scored.
I think as the 10, he's been at his best.
I don't know, but who else? Like there isn't anyone else other than those. Like really, unless you want to play.
They're the two creative
Harry
players.
Kane out of position as a creative 10, like or false
you don't
9.
Want to do that.
Like unlikely, but that would fit Jamie Vardy into the squad. You know, up front, I probably have Jamie, or I probably would have Harry Kane and maybe a Raheem Sterling or Marcus Rashford or someone.
You could play Raheem on the right and Rashford on the left.
Could
and
if
front three.
You could, but I think that would leave them open defensively because I don't think the
Rashford's played left back this season.
He has, and Raheem Sterling, as we said, has played full back in the past.
They could get back.
No, they won't though. That's the reality of it. I think they will. In reality, I think they're going to play 5/6 in midfield, and they are going to hope to control midfield or frustrate opponents, and then maybe score on the break, as you say, against Belgium, and then hopefully control the matches against Panama and Tunisia.
So what you're saying is Alfie Moss is definitely not in the squad.
I think he has a better chance than Tarkowski.
I think I'd bring Tarkowski. He's different to what they have at centre back.
I think the squad that, you know, there is a bit of silliness in the squad that Gareth Southgate announced for next week's friendlies. But
do you bring Joe Gomez?
I would bring Joe Gomez ahead of Ryan Bertrand.
Oh, I didn't even talk about. I've completely
well,
forgot
like
about
he's brought left backs. I think it's an interesting squad that Southgate has produced. He's brought players that are going to do different things.
You actually maybe probably bring Bertrand instead of Young.
Well, you see, Young's in form at the moment, and Young. The thing about Young, and I don't necessarily agree with this, but he does cover multiple positions. Yeah. So if there is an injury or if there is a need for, you know, something,
there's something to be said about that.
There is, and it's the same for Joe Gomez, and it's the same for Ryan Bertrand in a way because he can cover two positions as well. It's the same for almost all the squad. That's why they've been brought. Is like the exception to the goalies, everyone can play at least two positions, except for maybe Joe
Hart can go up front.
Well, Joe Hart.
David James did it.
Yeah, I know. But, you know, players, if you're saying about on form, Adam Lallana shouldn't be in the squad.
Yeah,
Joe Hart shouldn't be in the squad.
Exactly.
You know, you can make it Danny Rose.
Again, hasn't played.
But the thing, Jake Livermore, for God's sake, should not be near this. Yeah, of course, because Gareth Southgate likes him. I think he'll go to the World Cup.
What? West Brom are last.
Yeah, Gareth Southgate likes him.
That's weird.
You know, you're saying that he's picking on form. He's not.
Yeah, but he said he would.
He said he would before he took over, and then he's like, okay, I have certain players that he wants to play. Yeah. Joe Hart's one of them. Eric Dyer's one of them.
Like, you know, he watched Joe Hart play in the last 18 months? He's been awful.
He barely played matches the last while, and
he's been dropped by West Ham.
You know, he did play in the Battle of the Olympic Stadium, where he kept running to midfield to help back up Mark Noble as fans invaded the pitch. But
that's the only situation in which you might actually want Joe Hart, if there's just a pitch invasion.
But he did nothing. He just kind of got involved, and it was like, "This is ridiculous, Joe. Like, go back to goals. Like, you're making the situation work.
Yeah,
you're provoking the crowd. Just stay away from it."
But the thing with England though is that having so many options of fullback will be good. Like, to be able to rotate that. Like, fullbacks become such an important position in the world's game.
I think that those positions you can't really call into question, because I know why Danny Rose in this squad, because England don't have a wealth of talent there. You say like Ashley Young could do a job there, Ryan Bertrand could do a job there. Ashley Young is an indifferent player. He's on the downward trend, and he's had good performances recently for Manchester United in comparison to his teammates who have been dire.
Yeah,
but Ryan Bertrand's there for similar reasons. He's not had a good season.
Yeah, but I'd still only play Ashley Young if they're playing against Panama or Tunisia, or they are going with a back three.
Perhaps, yeah. I wouldn't play him as in a back four. Not a chance. I wouldn't bring Ashley Young. I probably wouldn't bring Ryan Bertrand. I would bring Danny Rose because he has the experience and he's probably the best.
But then you're only bringing one left back.
No, you would find someone else then. You would bring
Luke Shaw.
Maybe Luke Shaw. Maybe you scour different teams, like
get someone from the Championship. Maybe
no. You go to Bournemouth. You go to Stoke. Well, not Stoke. You go to Bournemouth. You go to Everton. You take somebody.
You can't even go to Burnley.
Take a shot on these under-21s that did so well. Like, none of them are near the squad. Calvin Lewis,
Lookman, as I said,
Jadon Sancho. Like, these players are playing as much as some. Like, they played more than Adam Lallana has played this season.
Yeah,
at a higher level, and are scoring goals or creating goals or contributing to matches. That's the problem. That's an inherent problem with England with this.
Yeah, I feel like every tournament is like, they're always the biggest question mark.
Yeah, well,
in terms of who they actually play. Like, you could probably list out who's going to start for Germany. You could list out who's going to start for Spain, bar maybe one or two players.
Perhaps, yes.
Same with Brazil, same with Argentina. Well, maybe less so Argentina.
Well, no, like, I get what you say in historically speaking, but I think this World Cup is a complete flux for many of those teams. Germany have 3 teams that could potentially... Like, Mustafi hasn't made the Germany squad. He was captain of the Confederations Cup team.
I don't think anyone that was at the Confederations Cup is realistically hoping to go to the World Cup, though.
The young Schalke player who's gone to Bayern Munich, I always forget his name.
Goretzka.
Loads of players in that squad are in there. Germany,
well,
just
younger players, yeah.
Germany,
the older
such
players,
a wealth of talent.
Yeah,
you know that they have that. Spain, the same. Spain they're in a transitional phase.
But
now.
It's not the same with England. It's not that they have a wealth of talent. It's just who do they actually bring? Like, who?
They don't have. That's the problem. They don't have a wealth of talent. So you're like. Yeah. If you're playing on form, most of these players wouldn't be there. But then you're bringing a team of hodgepodge
then
players.
Then you're bringing 14 players. Like,
well, no, necessarily. You're just bringing a great proportion of players from Burnley and from Leicester and from, Watford, for lack of a better team that's there. But these teams are safe in the Premier League.
Yeah,
they have had terrible parts of the season, like almost all Premier League teams have had this season, bar Man City. It's not. I don't envy his like. I envy it in some ways because he could, as you said, he's not going to get sacked.
Yeah.
So if he's confident of his position, maybe he could experiment and have some fun with this and bring.
That's
in
what
players.
I think he should do.
I would do it as well, but I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to drop into safe, and by the time we get to the tournament, it'll be very safe.
So knocked out on penalties to Colombia in the last 16.
Yeah, something like that.
It's good that we came to the same conclusion that we did at the start of this conversation about half an hour ago.
Yeah.
That'll do us for our topic of the show. Join us after the break for Guess the Player. Welcome back now as we close the show with Guess the Player, where Andrew will be given a list of players and he has to figure out what mystery player has played with each and every one of these throughout their career.
It'll be tough on my own this week, but I'll give it a shot. Well, let's get this going under the hour mark.
Hopefully. Almost ran out the player's name there.
That would have been a good start.
Okay, so you ready?
Yeah, go.
Patrick Vieira, Johan Cabaye, Ryan Babel, Maxwell, Mathieu Flamini, Bojan, and Freddie Ljungberg.
Is it Thierry Henry?
No.
So Bojan played for Barcelona, played for Stoke. Someone who's played for both of those teams. I'm thinking of a Champions League winner. But it's probably not going to be one of those. Patrick Vieira has played for Milan, Arsenal, Juventus, Inter, Man City. Who played for those? Didi Hamann?
Nope.
Ryan Babel's played for Liverpool, Hoffenheim, Ajax. Don't even know where he is now. He's in Turkey.
He's in Turkey, yeah. I think he's a Besiktas.
He's doing well, isn't he? Then comparing.
Yeah, I keep hearing talk about him on...
Okay, give me a clue there, because I don't know.
He's played for 8 clubs in 6 countries.
That doesn't help me at all. Nicolas Anelka?
Nope. Was a good guess, though.
Yeah, he's played with most of those players. Give me another clue.
He's actually played with Maxwell in 4 of those 8 clubs, bizarrely.
Maxwell. Eric Abidal?
Nope.
Maxwell's played for Barcelona.
He's played for a load of teams.
He played for Inter. Played for PSG. No, another clue.
He's won 2 Eredivisie titles, 4 Serie A titles, a La Liga title, 4 Liga titles.
Is it Zlatan?
It is Zlatan. He's played with Maxwell at Ajax, Inter, Barcelona and PSG.
Forgot about that.
He was capped 116 times for his country, scoring 62 times.
Good return.
Known for his outrageous quotes, including having one of the most famous autobiographies of any footballer and constantly comparing himself to a lion.
Now that's good. Ryan Babel. Did you play Ryan Babel at Ajax?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one screwed me up. If you had thrown someone in there like Materazzi, I think I would have got him. But
yeah,
no. But
I'm trying to make it.
No, that was a good one. That was a good one. I didn't get it to the end.
Yeah, it's the clues that get you.
Yeah.
But it was with that we'll close the show this week. Well done, Andrew.
Thank you.
Email us at thetfpod@gmail.com and follow us on Twitter and other social medias at the TFPod. If you've got any topic of the show or guest the player suggestions, we're all ears. Please subscribe, rate and review the podcast on your service of choice wherever you get it. And that just leaves me to say thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Declan.
And thank you for listening.